Hi, okay, so today we're going to go through your basic task management setup. This is a simple version to stay organized without overbuilding. There's more options down the road if you're an operations VA, exec VA, so on and so forth. You don't need a complicated system to start. You just need one place to track your work, to see what's due, to keep your quick links so that you know where to go, what to do, what expectations your client has for that task. Simple systems create momentum, so that's what we're going to create today. I really want you to remember that having a spot for your tasks reduces your mental load. You are not going to be able to remember everything that needs to be done every day, every week, every month. Even if you're keeping a Google Doc checklist, things are going to change, and you're going to have to constantly find yourself updating this kind of static document. And so that's why having an actual operating system that helps you manage your tasks is going to be a game changer in terms of your mental health, your mental load, your mental capacity, and not having to spend your time managing your mental capacity and actually being able to support your clients at that next level. Okay, so this is where your tasks can live. Some options for task management are Google Docs, spreadsheets, Trello, Asana, ClickUp, the income operating system. We have both a simple version and a complex, more advanced options in there. So ClickUp is a more advanced option that we actually integrate into the income operating system for that advanced project management, more detailed option. And then we have a very simple system for just your day-to-day, more general getting started tasks. Trello and Asana can be a bit complicated when they're just blank docs, as ClickUp can be if you're using it as a standalone as well. We have a template version inside of the income operating system for you. But Trello, you have to pay to do automations in terms of if you check something complete, it automatically sets it up for the next due date for you. Asana does have some free versions, but also some paid versions to get those as well. And then Google Docs and spreadsheets don't have any kind of way to automate, like when you check this complete, set up the next due date for me. So that would really just be kind of a checklist that you're manually looking at each time. My recommendation, just from years of experience, having my own mental load, having forgotten things for clients, having to update static documents, and feeling really awful and or overwhelmed when something went wrong, or just having a lot to manage at once with 3 or 4 clients, I realized that I really needed a system to take that mental load off of me. I couldn't keep it in checklists. And the income operating system was born out of that, and the task management system that I use, simple and complex, were born out of that. I started out very simply. As I moved into more higher level executive work, I went into more management, and so I wanted to have both of those options for you inside the income operating system, so that's what we've built. You can do due dates, mark items complete, see reoccurring tasks, and really have all your SOPs and everything in one spot, so you're not carrying that mental load all the way, always on the top of your head of, oh, do we need to do that? Do we need to do that? Do we create a task for that? Or is there a task for that? Or is somebody following up on this? You can just simply have it in your task management system. Hi, okay, so we're gonna go through the simple task management setup today. There is a more advanced one if you're doing more project management, operations VA, executive assistant VA, but this one is really geared towards just simple general task management. And so you can see on your dashboard here, your task will show up here inside the income operating system. And there's a couple other softwares that you can use for simple task management. Some are Asana, Trello, ClickUp is a little bit more advanced, but also can be used. Some people just use Google Docs or Google Sheets and spreadsheets. I personally find those harder to use if you're just using a document because there's no reminder that can be set or reoccurring tasks that can be set up, but they are options available to you. So you can either go straight from your dashboard here and click and see the tasks that are coming up for you. If you want to also set up tasks and edit tasks, then you would actually go into contacts, and then you go up here at the top and you click tasks at the very top here. Now, the reason this lives under contacts is because they are associated with different companies and contacts that live in your income operating system, your clients. So companies I've set up, for example, are just sample client 1 and sample client 2, and I've tied them to their contact profile. So the tasks are also set up this way. So you can see, for example, when I come in here, that I can see the status of the task. I can see the title of the task. Under description, you can actually kind of go into the task, and this is how, again, I go into this more inside the academy, how to set up an SOP, and that would live inside the tasks. Resources are quick links, basically, so that you can quickly, these are just some example ones I set up, but resources would be things you could quickly click just to get to that task. So for example, let's see if I have it set up on any of these. Yeah, so like you could just click Gmail inbox or standard responses template, so that every time you go to this task, you don't have to refigure out what URL you should be at and things like that. So we like to keep those handy inside of the task here. You can see, you don't have to have the description. I'll show you how to hide that, but it will be living inside the task. You can see the associated contact, or also known as your client. The assignee will be yourself, so this would be your initials. And then the due date, as well as right here, you can see I just adjusted that column. That's easy to do. And then if you need to edit it or delete it or do anything like that, you can do that too. Here, under Manage Fields is where, for example, if you don't want to view the description, you don't need to do that. If you don't want to view the assignee because it's just you, you can uncheck those. Click Apply down here, and then it will update this so that your view is a little bit more streamlined for yourself. For example, if you want to sort by or just see a certain client, for example, you can go to Advanced Filters, and you can use these filters so that you're only seeing certain tasks at a time. I like to see all my tasks at a time. You also say you just want to say, what's going on today? You can change the due date to today and just make sure you get those tasks done for today. So I want to show you just a couple examples of how to set the task up, but then also how to edit one. So let's go to this inbox one, for example. You can see that you can just quickly toggle on reoccurring, and then you can choose how often it reoccurs, every day, every week, every month, every year, so on and so forth, whether it ends or not. So that's, if you have something that's just going to be happening for 4 weeks or something like that, you can set that. I like to not check create new task even if this is overdue, because that will duplicate this task. So say you forget to mark it done on Friday, then it will recreate a task on Saturday, recreate a task on Sunday, and when you come in here on Monday, you'll have Friday's task, Saturday's task, Sunday's task, and Monday's task. Now, I use that as an example because the days don't skip the weekends. So what I would recommend on a Friday is when you check the task complete, you then go into the new task and set the due date for Monday for yourself. Or you can come in Monday and just, of course, know that those are the tasks that you're doing from Saturday. So that's just for daily. The weekly ones and the monthly ones will all work out. And you will have to say, like if it's monthly on the 15th, sometimes the 15th lands on a Saturday. So I usually just kind of do a quick task check every week on Thursday, Friday, look ahead and make sure nothing's landing on the weekend that I need to take care of Friday, or I could push to Monday and I just adjust those due dates. You also, inside the task at the bottom here, will associate it with the company and the client contact. Again, the company and the contact should be linked, so you really only need to do one, but it's up to you. I like to do both. And then you would, if you need to add a task, so say they want you to, or there was an email, you need to follow up with Ted on a payment status or something, right? Check a payment status. And then you would put the resources here if you need to, the task, which is basically the how-to, again, more about what to put in here and how to write these out inside the academy under SOPs. And then you can select your due date, a time if you'd like. I usually just leave it set to like an AM time. If you would assign yourself, you should be the only one. If you do start to have multiple team members, you'll see more down here. And then you want to associate it again with a contact, and I like to do company as well. So once you have those selected, you can then go in here and you can select those. Then if you want to make this, if you didn't want to make this reoccurring, you would just click save. If you wanted to make it reoccurring, you toggle on and say, I need to check this every week forever, or I need to check that every week until, the end of the month or whatever. And then you hit save. And that is how you create a new task. The last thing I wanted to show you on the simple task system inside of the income operating system is when you complete a task, you just mark it complete and it will update the due date for you. So next time that you come in, you should see the due date on the following date. Sometimes it takes a minute to upload. So that is how that will work for you. I also like to sort my tasks by the due date. Just move my face again. So that the ones that are coming up are at the top here. And again, your dashboard is a great, simple place to go and quickly see down here what you have coming up. And you can say, you can't filter in here by just the one date, but you can see what's coming up on Monday, Tuesday, so on and so forth for you. All right. So what not to do. At this stage, we want to avoid complex automations, multi-board project management systems, over categorizing. So you want to keep things as simple as possible. That's why we have the simple system has simple categories. And then rebuilding your system every week. I've really built in a template for you, as I just showed you, to help it be streamlined and keep it simple for you, so you don't find yourself redoing things or reworking how you're organizing your life or clients every other week. When you might need more, so if you become operations VA and executive VA, you're managing multiple projects. If down the road maybe you get into business management work, then you will need a more advanced system. And again, we have that inside the income operating system. We've integrated and include for you something very similar to ClickUp, so that you can manage things that may need more layering. And there's more about that inside the academy. And you may eventually just want a more advanced system, because that's just for greater detail how you like to work. Okay, so by the end of this, please go back, watch it, pause it, do what you need to do. You need to make sure you have one place where all your tasks live, so you've picked a system for that. Your due dates are assigned for those. You understand how to do that, how to set it up recurring, and you're feeling confident of how you set up your tasks so that you're not going to forget or miss something. Clarity creates confidence. Having a task management system will create so much clarity and so much confidence for you, which just keeps you moving forward, saves you time, makes you more money. Let's go to the next thing.